Tier lists, the dumb YouTuber's way of ranking items on a list from S to F. S being the highest and best tier, representing splendor, perfection, and mastery when it comes to whatever the list is about. And then going the rest of the way down, you have A, B, C, D, F, like you would in American schools. A being pretty good, B being fine, C being middle of the road, D being slightly less than average, and F being the worst of all, but bad. Which is why I am here, your magical guide through this mystical land of tier, the doer away of the E tier, because E doesn't really mean anything. The one who's taken you through a tier list of Disney rides and attractions before in the past, but has decided that rides and attractions aren't all the Disney resorts have to offer. No, the hotels are pretty fun too. Which is why today I will be ranking all of the Disney resort hotels in America on the S through F tier list. Which ones are going to make the S tier? Probably the Polynesian. Which ones are going to make the F tier? You would think the value resorts at Walt Disney World, but you would be wrong. So join me as we separate the best from the worst of Disney resort hotels, and I give you very flimsy reasoning as to why in this Disney hotel tier list. All right, where to start? Where to start? How about I ask you, what is your absolute favorite, bar none, favorite Disney World resort you have ever been to? Ever. Say it. I'll listen. Really? You sure? Okay. Disney's Saratoga Springs Resort is the DVC welcome center for all of the Disney Vacation Clubbers, of which I have friends who are members of, so I get to mooch a little bit. Saratoga Springs is what I like to call the retirement community of the Walt Disney World resorts. It's very quiet, it's very low-key, and there are a ton of old people. Not saying it's bad, it's a quick boat ride away from the Port Orleans resorts and Disney Springs, which I think is fun, and they have this really cool atrium of all the Disney castles in the world, and one of the pictures is empty, so do with that information what you will. Saratoga Springs, if you like slower paces and lots of old folks and a very retirement home feel, you're gonna love it. And I'm gonna put Saratoga Springs probably in the C tier, right in the middle. It's not bad, it's not exciting, there's nothing great there, it's just fine. And that's fine. Alright, you got to choose one, now I get to choose one. We are going to go across the country to the Disneyland Resort to the Paradise Pier Hotel. Named after a land that doesn't exist anymore, this hotel is Disneyland's cheapest, and you can tell. But again, just like Saratoga Springs, that's not a bad thing. There is a lot of charm, especially my favorite part of the hotel, personally, the elevators. They're these weird ones where you have to press what floor you're going to, and then it assigns you a letter, and you have to go to that letter elevator to get to your correct floor. That takes you to your floor. You can't just walk into any elevator and click what floor you want to go to. That would be too easy. This, I assume, is a holdover from when it was the Emerald of Anaheim, a hotel not owned or operated in any way by Disney, and then Disney bought it in '95 and turned it into the Pacific Hotel, and then when California Adventure opened, it was the Paradise Pier Hotel, and now allegedly, there's going to be a Toy Story retheme, although Disney did not confirm this. I've seen a lot of people calling this concept art fake because it doesn't match Disney's style, but I don't know, and I don't care if they change it, honestly. They also misspelled the word friend in the concept art. Very solid, middle-of-the-road hotel, nothing too special, nothing too fancy, but you want to stay in the Disney magic, the Paradise Pier Hotel is for you, and so that probably means it's gonna go in the C tier with its friend and cousin from across the country, Saratoga Springs. Two C-tier hotels. What a way to start off this tier list, everybody. What do you say we mix it up with something a bit more topical?
Oh my gosh, I was just in there, the lights were low, and this performer just came out of nowhere. She was incredible.
Have I been to the Galactic Star Cruiser yet? No. Have I heard good things? Am I gonna go anytime soon? No. Am I still going to put it on the tier list? Absolutely. If you've seen my video on the Galactic Star Cruiser, you'll know that I don't think it's a massive failure like some people are making it out to be, but I also think there are a lot of areas where Disney could improve. A 2-day hyper-immersive Star Wars themed escape rooms where food is included, that sounds really cool. For $5 grand for only 2 nights at this sort of hotel, I'm not sure. This commercial did a really, really big disservice to the Star Cruiser, and I'm actually kind of glad Disney pulled it because it did not help their case at all. It made it look horrible. But it's not horrible. It's not great either, and that's sort of C tier, but I don't know if it's even worth C tier because it's just the money you have to spend to get on board this thing, and you can't even go outside. I mean, you can, but come on. So tell me if this is stupid. I've been thinking about a challenge I wanted to extend to the visitors of the Star Cruiser, something that may or may not be possible with how reservations work, but if you can, during your excursion to Batuu off of the Star Cruiser, see if you can leave Hollywood Studios, hop on the Skyliner, ride it to Epcot, and ride Epcot's best attraction, Living with the Land. If you watched last week's video, you should know this already, and then get back to Batuu before the excursion is over. If you can do that, I'll do something for you. But that is my challenge to anyone going or who will go on the Star Cruiser. See if you can ride Living with the Land. Again, not sure how this would work with park reservations and everything, but I think there is a way it's possible. You could do it. So, the Galactic Star Cruiser, I would say probably right now for what you get for the price and the quality of the rooms and the resort itself, it's not really a resort, it's more of an experience, probably D tier. If I go to the Star Cruiser eventually, if I do, I could see it maybe going up to the B tier, so I'm gonna put a little ghost Star Cruiser over here in the B tier. That's scary. Not the best, but something that could certainly be fun, but for right now, I'm not super convinced, but it's not the worst thing in the world. D tier. You know, I'm getting kind of bored of this green screen. What do you say we go to the desk for this next one? Come on, over this way. See, that's nice. You like sitting at the desk with me, don't you? Well, here we are, and I don't know what hotel to do next. Why don't we all vote? Go ahead, cast your votes down below. Okay, well, Wilderness Lodge, that's fine. We'll do the Wilderness Lodge. Weird one for you all to vote for all at the same time. But yeah, sure, Wilderness Lodge, let's talk about it. In terms of theming, this hotel has a river that runs through the lobby. Yes, I mean, so S tier, obviously, right? You would think. Now that definitely does help its case, but you also have the Copper Creek Villas, the Boulder Ridge Villas, the entire rest of the hotel. The swimming pool is amazing, and there is a geyser out back. They have a geyser. I don't think it's a real one though. I don't know if there's any real geysers on Bay Lake. You know, there aren't too many resorts that back up to Bay Lake. Did you know this? There's only 3. The Contemporary, Wilderness Lodge, and Fort Wilderness. And yes, I am counting Wilderness Lodge and Fort Wilderness as 2 different resorts because they are fundamentally different. Whispering Canyon is always an anxiety-inducing good time. It reminds me of my home state, with all the wood and trees and wood. The Wilderness Lodge gets bonus points again for 1, having a geyser and a river running through the lobby, and 2, being in the Magic Kingdom resort area, the best resort area at all of Walt Disney World. So the Wilderness Lodge belongs safely in the A tier. Not the top, not the cream of the crop, but it is certainly one of the best. Now, I also just mentioned that I'm counting Fort Wilderness and Wilderness Lodge as 2 different resorts. That's because 1, you can sleep in a cabin or on the ground in a tent, and the other one is a luxury hotel. But that's not to say that Fort Wilderness isn't fun. The people who live there help make that area. The people, year-rounders, or even just people who love Disney, who decorate their RVs, and they love the history of one of the first, I guess, resorts on Walt Disney World property. Fort Wilderness has charm, and it used to have a railroad that ran through it, that you can still see the remnants of today if you walk around in the right spots. And you know I love abandoned remnants of former Disney attractions, so that's gonna go, I would say, C tier, B tier, C tier, C tier. Dang, we are really filling out the C tier, aren't we? I apologize for that. I promise the next one will not be C tier. Animal Kingdom Lodge. C tier. Okay, look, okay, I will say the animals are really cool, but that's all the hotel has going for it. The animals are really nice. The parking is a nightmare. You park underground because the animals, you know, you want more room for the giraffes. So you have to park underground in this horribly organized parking garage. And the restaurants there, when they're not closed, I hear are good. They're always closed when I go. And the rooms are fine. They're deluxe. They feel like they should be deluxe, but something just, I don't know, they feel old and they feel run down. They feel like they need some help. So Animal Kingdom Lodge, the worst deluxe, about C tier. Okay, now we're actually going to take a break from C tiers, I promise you, because now we are going to go over to the Disneyland Hotel over in Anaheim, California, the classic Disneyland hotel. It's been there since day one, no, but it's still really cool, and I love everything about this hotel. The ambiance when you're in that courtyard, Trader Sam's if you can ever somehow manage to get in, the lobby, the vintage collectibles on the wall, Steakhouse 55 when it was open. The Disneyland Hotel feels quintessential Disneyland. It feels like a throwback to the classic days. Like the Grand Californian and the Paradise Pier have sort of spread out around it and has filled that void of, value-ish resort and the deluxe resort, but Disneyland, the Disneyland Hotel stands on its own. It's not a value, it's not a moderate, it's not a deluxe. They don't have those over in California, but if they did, Disneyland would be separate. It would be something different because you can't really define it like Disneyland. Which is why I think the Disneyland Hotel, for all of its offerings, restaurants, pools, shopping, and vibes, becomes the very first S-tier resort on our list. Congratulations to the Disneyland Hotel! You made it S-tier! Congrats! How are you feeling? Oh wait, you're a collection of buildings. Never mind. Now, I hate to say it, but I am getting a little bored of the desk, I don't want to go back to the green screen quite yet, but I can't think of anywhere else I would go. That's right. We've come to visit my good friend, Mr. Tiki. Now, Mr. Tiki, what do you remind me of? You remind me of a very special Walt Disney World hotel. Oh, that's right. I remember now. The All-Stars. Now, the All-Star Resorts, Mr. Tiki, are the valuest of Disney's value resorts. They're where you go if you want to save money but still stay on Disney property. All-Star movies, music, and sports. Now, personally, I think All-Star Movies is the best. It's movie-themed, and Disney is about the movies. Music is pretty good, too, and All-Star Sports, I don't care for sports, so that's a big down for me. And that's where all the cheerleading groups usually stay. Mr. Tiki, do you know about those cheerleading groups? Yeah, they're really loud. They drive me they drive me crazy. I can't stand the cheerleading groups. I can't stand them. I can't stand them. So I think, personally, I will put All-Star Movies in probably C tier. Again, sorry. We're going to put All-Star Music in the D tier. It's not horrible, but it's not my ideal place to stay. And then All-Star Sports can go in the F tier. I hate sports. I hate loud noises. And it's lower quality than the deluxe and the moderates, but it's not bad. It's just sports themed, and who likes sports? Not me. Tiki, do you like sports? No? Let's talk about the Polynesian, shall we? So, Mr. Tiki, is it true that you are not, in fact, a Tiki at all, but you are actually a Moai head? Tell me about that. I'm starting to think this guy might be a statue. The Polynesian, as I call it, although officially it is Disney's Polynesian Village Resort, is one of the best hotels on Walt Disney World property, if not, spoiler alert, the best. Maybe it's the shirts I wear in every episode of Offhand Disney. Maybe it's the giant Moai head I have living in my office. Or maybe it's because if you ever want to find me at Walt Disney World, I'm in one of three places. Epcot, more specifically Living with the Land, or just all of Future World, the Polynesian Village Resort, or the Haunted Mansion. Let's start from square one, shall we? An opening day resort at Walt Disney World, so 1971, classic Polynesian, an amazing lava pool. No, you don't actually swim in lava, I know. I was upset too. A monorail station, Trader Sam's Grog Grotto. It's not Trader Sam's Enchanted Tiki Bar. It is Trader Sam's Grog Grotto, though. It's like a sister location. The Spirit of Aloha dinner show, although that may be going away. Ohana, Kona Cafe, Captain Cook's. You can take a boat out onto the lake. I've done it before. I got married there. The Polynesian is the best hotel on Walt Disney World property. Not just one of the best, like I said earlier. No, I've changed my mind. S tier. No, go up. Polynesian tier. Here's what you do. In the middle of the day, you grab yourself a Dole Whip from the Pineapple Lanai, and you head up the hill overlooking the Bora Bora bungalows and the Magic Kingdom, and you just sit there and listen to the wonderful music and enjoy the wonderful atmosphere and watch the barges go past, back and forth between the TTC and the Magic Kingdom. There is nothing like that on the planet. Polynesian Village tier for Disney's Polynesian Village Resort Hotel. Need I say more? I'm back at the green screen now. Port Orleans, French Quarter, and Riverside. Now, when they were building Walt Disney World, they decided not to build New Orleans Square like they had at Disneyland. Instead, they went with something else, Liberty Square. The Haunted Mansion, it's at both of those parks, at both of those places. But with Liberty Square at the Magic Kingdom, Disney couldn't just pass up the opportunity to display the food and architecture and food and culture and food of New Orleans. And so, during the Disney decade under Michael Eisner, they built Port Orleans French Quarter and Port Orleans Riverside. Now, Port Orleans Riverside is basically the Haunted Mansion, the Blue Bayou sort of vibes. You're living, or I guess staying in a hotel, at these fancy estates with fountains and cobblestone roads. It's very upper end, high end, you know, it's for rich people. Not the hotel, the theming. Then you have the French Quarter, which is exactly like it sounds. When you exit Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland, you are in the French Quarter area, and the entire hotel is essentially that. Now, Riverside has some good restaurants, but French Quarter has the Sassagoula Floatworks, which is where you can buy Mickey beignets at the walk-up. That's not just one mint julep bar. You walk up, you can get as many beignets as you want. It's the best thing they've ever done. Unfortunately, there are no mint juleps, so Disneyland wins that round. What I'm trying to say is Port Orleans French Quarter and Riverside are the perfect answer to New Orleans Square at Disneyland, except now you can sleep there, if that makes sense. All right, Port Orleans French Quarter, that's gonna go in the A tier. Port Orleans Riverside, also in the A tier. Two A tier resorts. They're like sister resorts. You know, they're complementary to each other, and I think that's what makes these two A tier. Not quite S tier, not quite Polynesian Village tier, but amazing. Very, very good. Stay at the Port Orleans resorts. Well, Mr. Tiki, what do you think about those rankings?
I miss the smell of my home, the way it scratched me against the shore, the wind blowing through the palms.
You mean the Polynesian?
Yes, the Polynesian.
Yeah, I think our sponsor today can help with that.
Do you mean the Magic Candle Company?
Yes. Bring the smell of the Polynesian Village Resort to your home with the Magic Candle Company, the sponsors of this video. Make sure to use offer code OFFHAND15 to get 15% off of your purchase. Now, you all know that the Magic Candle Company offers scents for different Disney attractions, but did you know they also excel at scents for Disney's resorts? My personal favorite is Floridian. It makes your room smell exactly like the lobby of the Grand Floridian. Somehow, it's like the most accurate thing I've ever smelled for the Disney parks, like replicated. I don't know how they do it. If the Poly or the Floridian aren't really your jam, they have Yacht and Beach Club, Contemporary, Wilderness Resort, Orleans, Caribbean Beach, and Pop Century. Two of those we haven't even put on the tier list yet. But that being said, I do know what tier I would rank the Magic Candle Company, and that would be S. Bring the smell of the Disney parks to your home with the Magic Candle Company, and remember, offhand 15 for 15% off your purchase, and it helps support the channel. Thank you to the Magic Candle Company for sponsoring this video, and now to Pop Century. Let's do Pop Century. Ah, the Pop Century, my favorite, the beautiful, what I like to call old reliable. Now, yes, the Pop Century's theming may be a bit questionable at times, but I love staying there. It's a value. Yes, it's on the lower end. It's not a Polynesian by any definition, but it's got a Skyliner station. It's got everything you need, and you can go inside a Rubik's Cube. I mean, Pop Century I call old reliable because I stay there almost every time I do a solo trip to Walt Disney World because it has such easy transportation to Hollywood Studios and Epcot, obviously, but I love the Pop Century. Pop Century holds a very special spot in my heart, and that is why I'm going to put it all the way up in the B tier. Because it's not a deluxe, it's not fancy, it's fine. And fine with a Skyliner is great for me. So Pop Century is a B tier. Now, it wouldn't be a tier list without a lightning round, and so Jeez! Who did that? How did that get approved? That was dangerous. I could have been that was lightning. This isn't a joke. Okay, Caribbean Beach and Coronado Springs. Coronado Springs and Caribbean Beach, very similar vibes. One has a Skyliner station that goes to Epcot, and the other one has a pool with a pyramid and a water slide, but no Skyliner station. All right, Caribbean Beach, A tier. Coronado Springs, B tier. Just makes sense. Old Key West, I've never stayed there, so let's go ahead and look at some pictures here. Let's go. It's C tier. Not bad. It's fine. Looks okay. Disney's Boardwalk Resort. Now you ride over this while you're on one of my favorite rides, the Skyliner, and Jelly Rolls is there, Abracadabra is there, and there's other things there that are cool. So S tier for the boardwalk. S tier. Let's get out from in front of this green screen. I don't like the vibes. Ah, the sweet, sweet realm of voiceover. I know I'm going to be safe here for the next couple of entries, so let's go ahead and get into Art of Animation. Now, I've never stayed here. I've walked the grounds, I've eaten at the restaurants, and they have a Skyliner station, which isn't bad. That's never a bad thing. And if it's anything like Pop Century, I've heard it's a little better, but I personally like the cheaperness of Pop Century, so I'm gonna put them in the same tier. Art of Animation is also gonna be a B, even though I've heard it's a bit better, but Pop Century, this is my list. It's mine. I don't have to explain myself, never mind, moving on. The Yacht and Beach Club hotels, the twins. Now, I personally prefer the Yacht Club because look at that pool. It's got a sand bottom and a slide. Wow, and it smells really, really unique, and there's a lot of cool hidden details and Easter eggs like the burning the midnight oil and the globe in the lobby. Yacht and Beach Club, whatever I end up ranking them, I feel like they have to be the same tier because they are essentially the same hotel. Also, they have beaches and cream, so immediately bonus points there. All of this and walking distance from Epcot, A tier. Solid, most confident A tier I've given to any of the hotels on this list so far. Ah, the Grand California. What? No, I told you we weren't going back to the green screen. Those chairs are terrifying. Let's talk about the Grand Californian. Not as grand, I gotta say, as the Floridian over in Florida, but still pretty grand. They do the gingerbread houses every Halloween and holiday. They do that Oogie Boogie one, and then they also do the Grand Californian gingerbread house during the holidays. It's good. I've stayed there before. The walls are very thin. That's all I'm gonna say about that. It is an interesting time. But I do love the Grand Californian. I love the restaurants, the people are so nice, and the giant fireplace. Forget about it. That's gonna go A tier. Grand Californian is also gonna go A tier. No, S tier. Grand Californian is absolutely S tier. Yeah, both of the S tiers are Disneyland resort hotels. I just realized that now. We need to fix that. Let's go to the Contemporary because that's also, spoiler alert, an S tier. Let me tell you why. The way the monorail glides slowly through the lobby as you look down or look up depending on where you are at the people traveling to and from their rooms and parks. The way it backs up to Bay Lake, you can just go sit on the beach and enjoy the quiet waves lapping up against the shore in a very Polynesian village resort sort of way. The thing that gets me about the Contemporary, though, is just how unique it is. The layout, the design, everything about the Contemporary screams retro future. Almost. It's like an industrial retro future, where not everything is made up of smooth lines and white chrome, but instead metal and dark tones and sharp solid lines. On the outside, anyway, you walk inside and it's like you're transported back to the year 1980 or 1975. Again, a monorail station inside the hotel, not outside, like the Polynesian or the Grand Floridian. It's in the lobby. Adds a whole lot. But it's not just that, you also have character dining with Chef Mickey's. You have delicious dining with The Wave, or I guess now it's Steakhouse 71. Still haven't been. And who can forget the California Grill up on top of the hotel, giving you amazing views of the entire Magic Kingdom resort area, and, if you're lucky, the DVC wing Bay Lake Tower, which is a bit newer and also has the monorail lounge, or I guess the top of the world bar as it's known, where you can, again, take a look at the original Disneyland, Anaheim, California, concept art for the Mark I monorail drawn by the two-time Best Human Award winner, Bob Gurr. Now couple all of that with it being a 3 to 5 minute walk away from the Magic Kingdom, that, my friends, is why Disney's Contemporary Resort sits very, very safely at the S tier. Is it safe? Are they gone? Are we good? I don't see them anywhere. I think we're all right. Okay, next hotel, the Grand Floridian. Now the Grand Floridian, you just hop on the monorail from the Contemporary and ride it around. It's a Victorian themed hotel. Now the Grand Floridian has the same relaxing vibe that the Contemporary and the Polynesian both have. It's just a bit different. There's not as much leisure space. I mean, you could go to the pool, sure. There's a sort of beach in between the wedding pavilion and the Polynesian, but it's not quite the same. It's not as slow-paced, which is weird to say because it seems like it would be the slowest pace out of all 3 hotels, but it's not. It's probably the busiest of all 3. But that's not to say it's not fun. The birdcage in the lobby, the really, really cool elevator, the Enchanted Rose, that's a cool lounge to go to. The Grand Floridian smells really good. Have I mentioned that? I talked about it in the ad, but it smells amazing. And for Christmas, the giant gingerbread house that they build and then inhabit for the entire holiday season is amazing. And so Grand Floridian, I think, gets to stand with the other Magic Kingdom resort hotels in the S tier. No, I can't take any. I'm not doing that. I'm not going back in front of that thing. No, I'm sick of it. I'm going to stand here in front of this bookshelf full of Haunted Mansion memorabilia instead, because this feels a whole lot safer than standing in front of that green screen right now. I don't know why they keep coming back. Now, why did I save Disney's Riviera Resort for last? Well, the Riviera Resort is what I like to call my home resort. See, some of my extended family has DVC, and their home resort is the Riviera. So whenever I get to tag along with them to the Walt Disney World Resort, I get to stay in the fancy hotels, which is how I've managed to stay at most of these you've noticed in this video. I don't have that kind of money, but other people do. Now, the Riviera Resort I saved until after the Grand Floridian because it's sort of a newer French Grand Floridian. Think of like the Grand Parisian, except it's along the Italian and French Riviera both, so it's kind of both at the same time. It's cultured, for sure. The lobby, okay, let me talk about the lobby. It's not grand. It's not huge and open like the contemporary, the Grand Floridian, Coronado Springs. It's not anything like that. It's very small, and it's very cozy. But they have an amazing cafe off to the side, so you can always smell the fresh brewed coffee and pastries. It's all white marble. It's very intimate. It's a very intimate lobby, and that I think is underrated in Disney hotels nowadays. They have to be huge and grand, but the Riviera says no. The Riviera says, no, we're going to do a small lobby and you're going to like it. And I do like it. And the mosaics on the way to the Skyliner station. Have you seen these things? Look at that. Peter Pan and Tangled. 2 not exactly French or Italian movies, but still amazing mosaics. The artwork at this hotel. Not even just the mosaics, but the artwork that's hanging in the hallways. And the last time I stayed at the Riviera, I could sit on the balcony and overlook Future World at my favorite park, obviously Epcot. You could watch the test track cars go round and round. You could see the backside of the Mexico Pavilion. You could watch people walk through Epcot, which is the best thing. Riviera is also S tier. I might even put it in the Polynesian Village. Riviera is Polynesian Village tier. I love the Riviera. I think that's everything. I think that's everybody. I think I got that. So, there it is, my personal tier list for the Walt Disney World and Disneyland Resort hotels. It might not match up with your personal tier list, and I invite you to make your own, definitely, and share it with me on Twitter. But I'm pretty confident in this one. I think I got them all in the right spots. I guess all I really got to do now is wait for that whole nanny chair green screen business to blow over, and we'll be back in business. Guess I should probably, like, call a priest or burn some incense or something, huh? I'm chasing that again! Well, that was a fight for my life, to say the least. Hello, everybody, and thank you for watching this video on my tier list on the best and worst Disney resort hotels. Please leave a like if you liked this video, and make sure to subscribe if you're new around here and want more videos like this video. I actually worked really hard on it. I worked really long on this. This one took a lot of work, believe it or not. You might be able to tell, you might not be able to tell. I can tell. I did it! A very special thanks to my supporters over at patreon.com. They help keep the channel going. They keep this whole thing chugging along. So thank you to them. And if you want early access to videos and video audio and sometimes sneak peeks of entire edited videos, please head over there, and even just $1 a month will get you access to most of the perks. Be sure to follow me on my other social medias, Instagram, Twitter, and for exclusive Offhand Disney content, TikTok, believe it or not. I'm at Offhand Disney at all of those places. You can find me. I'll be there. I'll be waiting for you. Just say hi when you stop by. Once again, another massive thank you to the Magic Candle Company for sponsoring this video. I couldn't do it without you guys. You help make the magic happen. Candlely. Once again, thank you to each and every single one of you who have made it to this point in the video. Leave like a code word in your comment. Let's do chairs. I mean, that's too obvious, right? I feel like that's a little too obvious. Do slide instead, because I talked about water slides in this video, and I really enjoy a good resort with a water slide. So make sure to leave the word slide in your comment, and I'll try to give it a like. Thank you again for watching the video, and I will see you all in the next one that hopefully won't mention Epcot or the Haunted Mansion. You never know, though. Probably will. Goodbye.